welcome back. This is Reflections by Jane for AlinaCrafts, and today I've got a project for you using quite a few new products from Alina and a couple of old things as well. I believe most of the items I'm using today are still in Alina's store. You can check over by following the links below just to see what's available and what isn't. But I hope you get some inspiration today from the card I'm about to make, and I'll go through it with you step by step. I was talking on the video originally, but when I came to edit the video, the sound had somehow managed to be corrupted. I don't know how, so this is why I'm doing a voiceover instead. So apologies for that. So it looks like I'm talking on the screen, but I'm not actually. So I'm using these square dies from Alina. They've got this beautiful like sort of teardrop edge to them, so when you die cut them, they've got this teardrop effect around the outside. They're really pretty, and there's a full collection in Alina's store right now. So there's squares, there's circles, there's rectangles, and there's ovals. So I'm hoping she might have some new shapes coming soon, just to complete the collection, because I really do like them and I have been using them a lot. If you follow me on Instagram, then you know that I've been using them quite a lot on my other design team as well. So I'm starting off. I've got my media mat here, and I'm just going to I've cut a piece of cardstock. I think it's roughly about 4 inches by 8 inches, something like that. And I'm using one of Alina's stencils, these beautiful butterflies. And then I'm going to pick some distress oxides, and I think I'm going to be using Kitsch Flamingo, Abandoned Coral and Peeled Paint. I think those are the 3 colours I use. But anyway, you can use whatever colours you like, whatever tickles your fancy at that time. Use whatever colours you like, but I like to use contrasting colours. Okay, so I'm using one of the new mini ink blending brushes from Alina. These are really lovely. I'm not just saying that because I'm on the design team. I will be honest, I really do like them. They're small, the bristles on them are really fine and soft. In fact, I would go as far as to say that I would actually use them to blend makeup on my face. They're that soft. So and you get 10 mini ink blenders and a pouch. I think you can buy them separately. You don't have to have the pouch if you don't want it, and you can buy the brushes on their own. But I do like the little case that they come in, because it just keeps them stored away nice and neatly, and I can keep them away from the other ink blenders. If you don't have these and you prefer the little sponge daubers that you put on your end of your finger, then go ahead and use those. You might still get the same effect, but because these are such fine bristles, I do like the fact that you can get into the little nooks and crannies of the stencil and pick out some more of the finer details, shall I say. That's one a good few reasons for the added benefits of these blending brushes. I really do like them. So I'm just going in here with Kitsch Flamingo to start off with. I do love this pink. It's one of the new ranges from Tim Holtz, and I do love it. It's a beautiful pink colour. It's like a candy pink, I think, more than any of the other pink ranges. Okay, so I'm just wiping off the stencil a little bit with my little rag there, and then I'm going to change blender brushes, and I'm going to use Abandoned Coral, and I'm going to just pick out some of the finer detail on the stencil. I did have a little bit too much ink on my brush there, that I would have, in hindsight, I would have used a little less ink and not be so heavy-handed with it. But nonetheless, it still worked out lovely. I still like how it turned out. Okay, so I'm just going to clean the brush off on this one as well, and I'm going to use I'm going to go back in with a bit more Kitsch Flamingo just to even those colours out a little bit. And there's a couple of cherries and leaves on this stencil as well, so I've used the abandoned coral on the berries of the cherries, and then I'm going to use peel paint on the leaves. So here we go, look, I'm using the Kitsch Flamingo just to blend it all together nicely. If you like what you see here and you feel like going over and checking out my channel, feel free to do so. So I am Reflections by Jane. If you do a search for me, you'll find me. I think I'm the only person called Reflections by Jane on YouTube. If you want to check me out on Instagram as well, I'm there. And I also, Alina's on Instagram, so she has all her new product updates as well as on YouTube. She'll have new product updates and samples that she's made, and yeah, she's really inspiring. So if you want to go and check her out, or me out, or any of the other design team, feel free to go and search us out on social media. I did tear a bit of the paper on the back of that piece of cardstock there, but it doesn't make any difference at all. It's the low tack tape I was using is not quite low tack, so but it doesn't really matter. Now the outer square that I'm using on this card is the larger square, and I've cut two pieces, and then the inner square is the same width as this piece of cardstock, so I don't really need to use the die, but you can use it if you want to. So I'm just chopping the cardstock down with my trimmer to the same size as what that square would be. Okay, and I like to store all my dies in neat little pockets to keep them safe. So I'm going to matte and layer these two pieces of stenciled paper to my die cut squares, and I like to use my mini glue bottle, and I just have it standing upside down in a bit of blue tack on my desk and it just keeps the glue to the nib of the glue bottle, so yeah, it's always ready to go then. So I've taken, I have die cut a square, and I've scored it at 1/2 inch and then at 2 inches, and done a mountain and a valley fold on it. And then on the 1/2 inch side, I've just put a bit of Alina's double-sided tape. It's really strong stuff. I really do like this tape. In fact, Alina, I must order some more. I'm going to come and order some more in a minute. Yeah, because it's really strong, it's durable, and none of my cards have fallen apart when I've used sort of made easel cards this way. Okay, so I'm just going to matte and layer that stenciled piece there, and then I'm going to lay that square over the top of the, lining it up with the stenciled piece, and then push it down, and then so the tape catches at the top. And then I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to glue the bottom part of that scored piece to the back of that other piece, making sure that they line up. Smooth that down, and then when you flip it back over, you've got your easel card. They're dead easy to make, and you don't need special dies to make easel cards. You can just do them manually by using your nested shapes. If you've got nested shape dies, you're well on the way to making an easel card. They're so easy. If you've got any questions regarding making an easel card, just let me know in the comments below, and I'll get to you as soon as I can, and I'll answer any questions that you might have. So I'm just putting another piece of that stenciled piece on the top there. That's it. So that's the card base finished. So we're going to do some decorating and yeah, get some more of Alina's products out and decorate it. I say this stamp set from Alina's, I think it's from a couple of releases ago, and I'm just figuring out which stamp would look okay on the front of this card, because size would be an issue, And I'm using Alina's oval dice, nested die set, and I'm going to use that smaller stamped image of flowers in a jar. So I've got a piece of white cardstock here. I'm just making sure everything fits. I'm putting it in my stamp positioning tool. I'm just going to make sure that I've got it positioned right on my piece of paper so I can die cut it. And then I'm going to use my finger daubers in this case for stamping, and I'm going to use the same 3 colours that I used when stenciling those butterflies. So I've got abandoned coral, I've got kitsch flamingo, and I've got peeled paint. And the stamp is quite a small image, so I don't really want to overpower it with too much colour, with it being such a small image. So I'll put a piece of white cardstock underneath the other side of my stamp positioning tool so you can see hopefully what I'm doing with the stamp. So I'm just going in with my finger dauber and I'm just gently tapping around where the floral images are on the stamp, stamping that down. You can't see much at the beginning, but you'll see it in a minute. So I'm just making sure I've got some plenty of colour down. See, I'm wearing my microphone in the film because I was talking as I was doing it, but it didn't quite work out. So I'm a bit annoyed about that, but here we are anyway. We're getting there. So I'm going in with abandoned coral this time, and I'm just sort of blending the colours together. So I like to use the finger daubers because you don't, going straight ink pad to stamp, you might overpower the stamp too much because it is such a small image. So if you use a finger dauber or even use the mini blenders and get your ink on the stamp that way, you know, it's yeah, it's going to be a more delicate way of doing it, shall we say. So I'm going in with peel paint here, and I'm just going around the edge of the glass jar and where the foliage would be on the stamp. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I just like this effect. What you could do as well is get some ink using your finger dauber onto the stamp and then mist it with a light mist of water and then stamp it down, and you will get almost a watercoloured effect. But I didn't really want to do with this stamp because it is quite a small image. You could do it with the larger images. Okay, so I've almost finished stamping, but I just wanted to make sure I get plenty of colour so that it is, you know, it does stand out a bit. Yeah, so I'm just doing a bit of housekeeping here, just tidying up. I like to tidy up as I go along, move things out of the way, so you haven't got too much to look at on the screen as well. Just cleaning my stamp off. I like to clean as I go, most of the time. If you saw the state of my craft room as well, you'd be horrified. Hubby uses the same craft room as I do, and he's got a tiny little corner where he does his modelling. He does modelling for like mini aircraft and stuff like that, and he's got a tiny little corner that he uses. Okay, so I've cut out a bigger oval. The larger oval is bigger, slightly bigger than the oval I used to cut out the stamped image, and I'm just going around the edge with kitsch flamingo. If you don't have a lot of coloured cardstock, this is a great way of doing matting and layering with different colours. Just add a bit of glue and stick that down in sort of in the middle. Quite happy with how that looks. And then I've got some foam pads, foam dimension, and I'm just going to stick those on the back. And I also like to make sure I've got plenty of coverage on on the back of foam, so it doesn't sag anywhere. I like to get that fairly centralised in the middle. Okay, and then I've got another stamp and die set from Alina. I love this stamp and die set. It has got I'm not sure, it's about 20 different sentiments in tag format, and then there's a die that cuts out the tags, so you can have a day stamping and cutting out tags if you want, and you've got loads of sentiments. So I'm cutting out 2 pieces of white cardstock using that tag die, mini tag die, and then I'm going to, and I've also cut out a template out of craft cardstock as well, so that when I put them in my stamp positioning tool, it's easy to line up the stamp, put the die cut in the gap where it should be, and then stamp them down. So I've been finding it's easier to stamp and die cut this way. That's just me. You might do it the other way around. You might stamp and then die cut, but I've been finding it easier to do it this way. So I'm just choosing which sentiments I want, and I think I use hugs and kisses. So you're going to have hugs and kisses on this card, and I'm going to send it to somebody special just to let them know I'm thinking of them. Just take me a moment to make sure I've got the stamp in the right way. I've decided to take the die cut out, then put the stamp in the centre, pick it up to where it should be, then put the die cut in, and then stamp. I forget which colour I use. Oh, Kitsch Flamingo. So again, I'm not introducing any new colours. I'm just using the colours that I've already used in the card. So that's Kitsch Flamingo. I'm not really a pink fan, but I do tend to lean towards pink when card making. What's your favourite colours to use in card making? So again, I did move that template, so I'm going to just stick it down with a bit of low tack tape. The sticky grid on my stamp positioning tool isn't very sticky anymore. I need another sheet to go down. But yeah, just making sure I line that up. Okay, pick it up, put in the die cut, like so, and then yeah, stamp it again. Oh, I'm going to use Abandoned Coral. So I've used Hugs and Kisses in Abandoned Coral and Kitsch Flamingo. It's a really cute little die and stamp set. I really love it. Perfect for sentiments. And I'm going to use put a bit of foam adhesive on the back of those tags, and they will act as the stoppers for my easel card. I'm just drying the ink off a little bit as well, because I don't want it to smudge, obviously. If you know anything about distress oxides, they do stay wet quite a while. So I could have heat embossed them with some clear embossing powder if I'd wanted to, but I didn't think of that at the time. I just dried off the ink. I do like adding a bit of dimension to my cards. It makes things look more professional, I think, as well, if you add foam dimension. So I'm just having a bit of a tangle with my tweezers and just wondering where to position my tags. And I think they look quite nice, sort of jutting out from each other there. Okay, so I'm just going to embellish this card with some of Alina's lovely pink plastic sequins that look like flowers, and that's it from me. Sorry I've waffled on an awful lot, but if you don't want to listen to me waffle on and just watch the card making, turn the volume down. I won't be offended. So yeah, I'll see you again next time. I'll have another project for Alina coming soon. It's lovely to be back on her design team, and I'm so grateful for her, to have waited for me. I did have a family bereavement and just needed some time out. So I'm back anyway, and I'll see you all again very soon. Take care for now, and be good to each other. Bye.